All right, showtime, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It is the Nigerian Pro League. It is the rain split. It is the Super Weekend, and it is the last weekend of the Super Weekend. After this, you already know survival stage becks on survival stage starts calling. So you got to pick up, and the finals. The top four teams will advance from the Super Weekend to the split final, so they will not be playing in survival stages. That is the goal here. Last week we had some interesting teams, a little bit of a shake up. Right now we have two new teams inside of the Super Weekend. Those teams that did not make the Super Weekend last week, they've got an opportunity now. The likes of Dream Team and the likes of, I believe it was Unsolid Army, that made it into the cut. But yeah, something also very interesting. We've got our Vicendi, and the bonus points that come with the Super Weekend that tie into those rain split final points. We start off with Erangel, Miramar, Sanhok, and then Vikendi is going to give us a little bit of a different vibe, a little bit of a different feeling. Also, don't forget, this Super Weekend is the last Super Weekend Vikendi is going to be played. So we only played Vikendi last time. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, the plane is in the air, the action, and we are very, very active. If you ask me, everybody is locked in. We'll play it all through. And I know that you guys are excited as much as I am, because I know I'm excited. I know I'm locked in. And I'm going to be very sure that I'm going to be very sure that some teams have some different brilliant strategies they are trying to, show us inside of this super weekend. And I can't wait to see what they've got in store. Can't wait to see what they're cooking up. To each his own, though. To each his own. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Interesting. What a very, very, very luxurious playing park here from that eastern side, cutting over to the southwest. Again, those teams that do love to play from the north, Severny and the likes, it's not going to be the easiest rotation for them. I think, in rotation, rather in playing paths like this, you would pick your your secondary drop location, something towards the south, if you could work, maybe something towards the western side. But there's going to be more action and more steez where that one comes out from. It would work on the most part going into that final third when the play zone is going to get a little bit more iffy. But ladies and gentlemen, it is action. We've got Solid Army here. We've got Dream Team here. Those teams were not in the Super Weekend last weekend. So they do have an opportunity to turn things around here. And I think there's another team, right? I think there's another team here that made it to the Super Weekend, right? Was it? Or was it just Dream Team and not Solid Army? I think it's just Dream Team and Solid Army. So yeah, let's see what they've got in store for us. And don't forget, we've got Tribe Warriors. We've got players locked in. And I think we also saw. I think we also saw like an interesting turnout for um Dark Knights during the league stages during the week. Dark Knights were absolutely cooking. Are we going to see more of the same this weekend? That's the question. That is the question. So in the comment section says seated for a great comeback. Yes, me too. I'm seated for his comeback. Unfortunately, Luwick, I think they are playing as three. Arab teams well also playing as three. Those are the only two teams that will be playing as three. Hopefully they won't play as three for the duration of tonight. But you know, there could be more. There could be so much more where that one comes out from. But all's well that ends well. A bit of a park and stop for the most part, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It's absolutely not the worst thing in the world. So we've got Roman, Aimbot, Skinny, and Regioso. Now, this is a very interesting lineup. I don't think I've seen this lineup. I don't think I've seen this lineup in the NPL so far. I don't think I've seen anything like this so far, though. I ain't gonna lie. I've not seen anything like this. I haven't. So I think this lineup for fourth portion is going to be something very interesting. Neon Rising inside of Sosnovka military base, uncontested this time. We saw Wizard pull something special out from. We saw him pull something special out against guys from COB during the week. That was one for the highlight reels. Can they do something similar, something much more special in tonight's games? Going to see. They did have a very good league stage this past week. I think that would be a very good push for them going into the going into the rain split finals, and also going into the grand finals again, they would decide to lock this in. They would decide to work this out and put things into better perspective for their teams. Again, the open space that they've got so far on that leaderboard is going to change as the game goes on. And like you already know, Dark Knights, the top team from this past week, finishing on top of the leaderboard with over 100, I believe 103 or 107 points, something along those lines. They finished solid. They finished very, very solidly. And that would be one for the books, one for the big books. One for the big books. But we will see. We will see who is going to turn things around. But right now, we do have some interesting now be poll going on in the chat. Who is going to take match number 1? And we've got Tribe, Ecstasy, 3 Crown Esports, and Dark Knights. And 50% of the votes have gone to Tribe Warriors right now. So there's that. There's really that. Now we've got the Super Weekend. Remember, the Super Weekend points will be added up. The Super Weekend points will be added up. And the top 4 teams, when the points are added up, will be in the rain split finals. But right now, Powerplay have their own thing to worry about. They're making a little bit of an interesting cut across the eastern side of the zone. And that puts things into a little bit more perspective for them. The rotation's already looking very good, very solid. But it is going to be a very hard shift, a very hard cut for them if they can, keep things at bay. Again, there would be resources. There would be a lot of resources going into this final third. They would be thinking about how they would play this, but questions will start to lock through. Looks like Tribe Warriors and 3 Crown Esports. Something could be brewing here, and Joy is in the mix, and they would love to see him. He has been back again. Beautiful grenade from Merrick. The Tribe Warriors are already starting to get hurt. Ooh, was a very interesting sniper shot from Steve Allen. That will be the first elimination of the night. And you would be surprised that it is 3 Crown Esports getting the first drop against the guys from Tribe Warriors. Unsullied Army on the receiving end of some Chaos Wizard with a run over from the Rising. They are trying to put things, put them back into the lobby with the quickness. Pressure is on. Pressure is really on right now. And they are trying to lock this through. Ooh, that's a draw. That's a big draw. The Rising, they make the advance on Unsullied Army on the receiving end here. It's not the best start for them. This is not exactly what they were planning for come Super Weekend. And they are getting locked in. Okay, so everyone in the comment section is saying something about the saying something about the YouTube updates. Please, what is the YouTube update? What am I missing? What is the YouTube update? What is the YouTube update saying? What is this update? I want to know, please. You guys should come in the comment section. Yeah. You guys tell me in the comment section what these updates is, please. I'm curious because everybody's talking about it. Okay, okay. So production just gave me an update on that one. So ooh, water spray that was from Lee. That is a solid play. Vortex on the front foot. Unfortunately, they did lose Judge. It looked like Three Crown Esports will not be stopping yet. They have set their sights on Tribe Warriors and they continue to pressure them into losing more and more players. Luick this time, it is their turn. Foul play will put the screws to them as well. Surgery goes down to Merrick. And Three Crown Esports, they are starting to wake up the Super Weekend. Quilla with a grenade over the top side does connect as well. Three Crown Esports are turning this around. Beast from Luick has traded a couple more. Beast goes down, unfortunately. Foul play will put them back, and that will be the end for Luick, the first team back into the lobby. And that is, it is very interesting. We've got rotation going on. Can they blow him up? And he hops out. And he hopped out at the right time. He probably is he still going? Is he still in the I don't think he's still in the is he I think he's still in there, right? I think he's still I thought he jumped out of the vehicle. I thought he did, but I don't think he did anymore. I think he made it all the way to Noble. I think they made it all the way to Noble, so that one would work out. 15 teams in the cup, 53 players alive right now for in this Super Weekend. Keyboard Warrior says, "My babe say make we cuddle. Now once I patience. She can't miss NPL. Type, type, type. That's what we love to see. NPL is more important than your girlfriend. That's for fact. That's for real." And Dream Team now on the front foot against the guys from Vortex of 4 versus 3. And this is Dream Team's position. They do love to play out of here. Ja looking for that break in transmission against the guys from Vortex. A grenade has been tossed over to the left-hand side. Dark Knight on the bridge. They could prove something here. And Arabs, he looks like they will be setting their sights on X to see why all this is going on. But Peter's looking for a way to circle back. And now Dark Knights will play spoiler. Opportunity now for Dream Team to capitalize. I believe they're aware that some chaos is breaking down here, and they will be pushing this on. More breaks in the space. Here they come. Storm plays off the right-hand side. He decides to break this open space that they found right now. They could capitalize. Lee still knocked away for Vortex. Can they hold on? More sprays again from Neon Rising as they occupy the top spot. And now Sad actually gets the opening that they've been looking for. Dream Team on the front foot. Peter with the burn. And they go out inside. General, a couple more shots again for Dark Knight. A little bit of a warning again, but that will not get the job done. Neon Rising now taking their own sides on Tahashi's post, but Peter looking for that final blow. 2 versus 4 right now. Dream Team, they smell blood in the water. They have been absolutely incredible, on fire in the start of this game. They're trying to hold the lines here, and Dark Knights continue to apply pressure. Vortex in so much trouble, but that is the danger here. They get the drops, but Dream Team are the ones that are collecting the points. A grenade toss right through inside the doors, doesn't connect. Ja takes the hit, he circles back. Another Molotov cocktail to seal the deal, but the S12K will put the final nail in that coffin. Vortex will join Luick back into the lobby. And now Dark Knights will press forward. They're looking for a space too. And now can they hold it on? Sad has been knocked away by a grenade. It's going to be a hard one to clock through, but they've been boxed in. Dark Knights trying to close this down. An angle open space, and they popped it right through. Doesn't connect again. Ja takes a hit. And it's 1 HP. Storm trying to apply some more pressure again, trying to feed him inside, but this time around, General leads the charge. Another drop. Peter's knocked away. Another grenade. Over to the left-hand side again. S12K is in the open space. PBS can Storm close. Another grenade pops over to the right-hand side. Ja still knocked away. Dark Knight's absolutely cooking. Can they rise to the occasion now? Can they turn this around? Ja still knocked away. They cannot afford to pick him up. General still looking for a way through. Over to the right-hand side. Foul pop a grenade. Over to the corner. Bounces off the wall. Cuts his HP. Tries to hold on, but unfortunately he's not so lucky. The play zone and the smoke grenade will work hand in hand to shut it down. And Peter unfortunately missed the first shot. He will miss the second, but the DBS from You Know Me will tell him exactly who he is. Dream Team will go out, but not without 4 eliminations in the bag. Dark Knights with a clean sweep, a cleaner one, and they will continue where they uh, where they left off in the last game over the league stage. They will continue to mount that pressure. They will continue to put the work in. And that is a big one, a very big one. Dark Knights preying on a Dream Team. It was a very, very calculated push, and it paid off big time. Realizing have their sightlines on Archie Sports, but too far away to be of any immediate threat. And the phase 2 of the circle is going to be closing down any moment from now. Could be something that they will set their sights on, but Neon Rising looking very good here. And they will be putting in that work. Looks like Neon Rising, they want this. They want to commit. Oh, what a spray from Wizard. And that's an opening. That is a major opening right now. 911 is isolated here. Molotovs have been set into the corner to shield it through. A Wizard already wants a piece of the action immediately. Fans, the S will crush his skull. And Harsh Esports will lose one player. And they are trying to get their numbers back up, but it's getting harder by the minute. Neon Rising are on the advance. They are not stopping now. They are putting the pressure on, and they are trying to seal this back. Baby's up onto the high ground here, providing that extra bit of cover fire, that extra bit of unspotted position. Now he has his sight line on the guys from Archie Sports. Oh, what a strike from Baby. Beautiful. With the AUG, clips the wings there of Ron, who gets him knocked away. Archie Sports will lose yet another as he gets caught out there. And that is unfortunate for Harsh Esports. They have 2 out. And the remaining 2, looks like they might not be able to yield much there. Grenade over from that guy who passed that one immediately. And that will be the end of the road. They will lose Ronu to that engagement. Beautiful push from Neon Rising, holding every single angle, holding every single position. They work exactly in their favor. Looks like Tribe Warriors will be eliminated now. They go out. They go all the way out. And Top C and the squad have been cooked. Eliminated by 4 portions. It looks like Background Esports on some on the receiving end of something here. Ecstasy also setting their own sidelines there, and AOD also making their own work out for them as they will get the drop on foul play. Background Esports will be losing players one after the other. Looks like Quilla has been stopped away, and Enjoy. And they do have another player knocked away here. It could be one. RFT in some serious trouble as Farudo and Reed will be having a little bit of miscommunication. They're getting knocked away. Jay, too far away from the action as his teammates will be sent back into the lobby one by one. And Asriel trying to hold it on. Oh, that's a beautiful jump shot from Asriel. He does get the finish. Absolute finish Three Crown Esports have been eliminated. Azriel gets the drop for AOD. Eric is succumbing to his injuries here. Will he be getting picked up? It's looking very unlikely there. Ecstasy in trouble. They're trying to hold on against Afro Esports, but it looks like he will be getting picked up just in time. And that is what you call a last-ditch effort. Ecstasy trying to hold on in. Crusader's been knocked away. Trader also very low on HP, but he should be able to get his HP levels back up. That will keep them at bay for the most part. Afro Esports in the open, and they are exposed. Amar has to play on from that western side to keep the pressure on the guys from Afro Esports. Again, this team is still on the other side of the bridge. They haven't crossed the bridge yet. They have been battling just by the corner of the bridge there. The play zone will be coming to Ecstasy's rescue to eliminate two players from Afro Esports if they could make it work through. But Afro Esports look like they might be making something happen there. Pride Boy with the drop on Bego. Bego will not be fortunate this time as he goes back into the lobby. But the play zone as well will come to their rescue yet again. Neo gets knocked away. Trouble here for Afro Esports. Amar has made the push from that western side like I predicted. He's already making the move. Another grenade over to the top side. He knows that they are just close enough, just a little bit closer there. And that will be the burn notice. Afro Esports will be cut down to size, and that will be the end of the road for them. They go out in line from one elimination. That is a hurtful way for them to kick off the game here. Neon Rising, Noisy, trying to hold this down. Playing off to the left-hand side there. That could be the opening they're looking for to make something work out of this position. Baby will play off a little bit closer there, but they have the angle, they have the position, they have the intel. All they have to do is keep calm, and they will be able to see this through. I've been very clear path into the zone there, but yeah, all that happened, all that hooting and hollering will not save him. He gets knocked away, and he will be left for dead. Baby as well to follow suit. HKK gets the spray on, and that one will bite the dust again. Baby goes down to trap, gets run over immediately. Neon Rising have to cut down to 50%. HKK being the thorn in their side. Dark Knights continue to rise. Continue to stop the opposition now. We're down to 18. 21 players alive now. Looking all the way through. Dark Knights continue their press. Continue to hold us on. And that is a very solid hold right now. Foul play also with 5 eliminations to the good here. Azriel finally making his way through. Oh, that was very close. Too dangerous. Do they want to push that last man from AOD? They looks like they just might. Oh, that's a beautiful grenade. A little bit of a warning there. And he does get the drop on that guy. Neon Rising in trouble now. This could be something. But Azriel has to make a move now. He cannot allow that grenade to get dropped. And he does. But he bounces it perfectly off the wall. Wizard casting spells yet again. Getting the job done for Neon Rising. 8 eliminations now in the good. The Trader from Ecstasy now attacking Arab T. Reckless gets endangered immediately as well. Playing on to that left-hand side. Amar gets another drop on Atarudo now. The next victim. Creed is going to be the last one left. Now onto the guys from foul play again. Oh, that's a big one from Amar. He already sends Townley now to hold this down into the side again. He gets dropped away there. Foul play trying to hold this down. Crusader did get knocked away in that exchange. PlayStation 2 for foul play now. He's been spotted, and that is a perfect grenade from the Trader himself. 5 eliminations for foul play, but Ecstasy will be the ones to put them back into the lobby. And things are looking very good right now for Ecstasy. But it looks even better for Dark Knights. Looking to pack it in. Arab T going out as well. Dark Knights on site now, trying to put Neon Rising out of their misery. I think then they would be able to work this out, but that guy has something in store. He has a plan. And I think he has a grenade and he launches the first one, a little bit of a deterrent there for Dark Knight, so they will have to think this twice again. But they are trying to get intel here. They are trying to make sure that Dark Knight are not trying to flank them. Wizard already trying to get an angle of that right-hand side. That guy already spotted and he's warned immediately as well. And he tries to send that in, and he does get the connection. The S12K will come to the rescue, and that will be good night. H-double-K, the victim, he will be swept away there by Wizard. The spells continue to come in clutch for Neon Rising. Another one tries to dodge General this time. They can't seem to hold off the guys from Neon Rising. It's a 2 versus 2. And Neon Rising somehow showing levels. 4 portions have made themselves very much available off to that right-hand side. Playing dangerous spoiler. Grenade over the top side. Trap could be in trouble now. He's the last one left. But finally tries to get the reset and the re-up on his teammates. But are Neon Rising aware? Do they know that Dark Knight all they have is one? And Archie Smalls finally put back into the lobby by Trader. 15 eliminations from Ecstasy. And they are running away with it now. Here they come again. Lane off to the right. That guy into the jump. First jump is good, but not the right time this time. Dark Knights turn it around. General still knocked away. 2 versus 1 now. Wizard already makes the play and circles himself into a better position in the zone. Can General get picked up? There's a chance, but he might be exposed to the guys from 4 portions. But if they do have the smokes, if they do have the utilities, they could turn this around. Roman spots Wizard. He saw him coming through. The pickup is already there. The grenade perfectly launched. Just a little inch there. It will connect, but it's too shy out. He knows now that they're aware of him, but they can't seem to get the angles right. That would be a very clinical grenade if he could connect him all the way out there, but it's too far out. And 4 portions, looking very comfortable here. They have the entire zone on lockdown. Ecstasy now looking for their own space. General will succumb to his injuries, will go out in third. Or rather, will go out in fifth. Again, but looks like Wizard, unfortunately, will be stopped in and locked out. That will be the end of the road for Neon Rising, but what a performance they have had. Now Dark Knights is their turn, trying to hold on to Skinny. Lays off to the right, Skinny immediately punished into the side as well. You know me, trying to hold this on. And the Molotov just over the top side. Roman has to be very careful. The Molotov doesn't connect. He might be getting tagged up. And that could be the opening there. Trader somehow has made himself a nuisance there. 4 portions have lost one. Ray Gioso was the one called out as well. Skinny's the victim. Ecstasy are waiting for this to do out. And now they have started to make their way inside. Straight to the side again. He tries to turn through. That guy. Oh, what a finish from You Know Me. Dark Knights somehow survive the onslaught. 4 portions will be swept away. 16 eliminations for Ecstasy. 2 versus 2 against Dark Knights. Trapping You Know Me. Can they hold off Ecstasy? The NPO champions as it stands. Can they close this down? Grenade from Miramar over to the right-hand side. It's a super weekend, the first game of the night. Who could have predicted? But Ecstasy, they could just turn this around. They could just hold this on. The play zone, however, they have to make the play for it. They have to make the right call here. Dark Knights already making a play for it. Smoke grenades and utilities coming in clutch now. Trap making the advance a little bit closer. Traitor looking for a way through as well. Plays off the right-hand side. The sprays trying to hold off into that corner as well. But You Know Me cannot expose himself too much as Amar is there trying to pin him inside. Can't force him into the buildings because they know that will limit their capacity to do any damage. Trap trying to hold it on. Good grenade over to that left-hand side, but he can't seem to find the angles. You Know Me, he makes a play. Now he's inside the zone. Couple of inches, couple of meters. Trader just by the window sill to close it through. Grenade is good. Amar almost got that one too, but the door was in the way. Another grenade. Amar's been spotted by Trap, trying to hold it on. Ecstasy now on fire, burning through. Trap tries to hold on, but the grenades again. This time around, Trader's grenade will bounce off the walls, connect. Dark Knight's in trouble now. Can he bounce it? Oh, but no, not this time. Connects his teammates instead, and the pressure will not phase Ecstasy. They will take the chicken dinner, and it is perfectly deserved. Super weekend, not a problem. Ecstasy in front, and they will take that first chicken dinner of the night with more to come. What a finish. What a big finish, Bego, unfortunately, no eliminations for him, but Crusader had 4 in that cut. And that is a solid representation of how dominant Ecstasy were inside of this game. 60 eliminations to follow as well, 59 knocks, almost 8,000 in heals, 40 assists, a lot of work, a lot of teamwork, if you ask me. Way too much teamwork for the teams in this discretion, but it did work a treat. It did work in their favor, and they saw the results. And a lot of teams here, they've started to see the appeal. They started to see the appeal of having to keep the having to keep the proverbial pressure. But Ecstasy and Dark, they really went at it this time. They really tried to go head to head, but the real definer is that chicken dinner. It is just something special, to get the chicken dinner after you've had a very high, elimination game. It shows you exactly what you need to do and how you need to turn things out. But somehow in all of this chaos, Wizard was the MVP for Neon Rising for the first match, and he showed his skill set. 6 eliminations, over 1,100, basically almost doing 1,200 in damage points. Big game for Wizard, and he put in that work. He put in a lot of work, showing the abilities for Neon Rising. Again, big stuff we've seen, very big. Amara was also in the mix there with 6 eliminations, doing almost similarly the same amount of damage as Wizard, but Wizard had him just by a little inch there. Trader did have more eliminations than the entirety of the team, but his eliminations came in trickles, dealing only 550 damage points with 8 eliminations. Sue with 4, also doing 1,300 for Dark Knights. Crusader also doing 4. Now, Ecstasy did finish 28 points to the good in the end, and the Super Weekend is off to an egregious start. You already see this. Dark Knights also in there with 15 points to the good. Neon Rising with 13, 4 portions with 9, RT with 6, Foul Play with 6 as well. Dream Team and All She Sports sharing 4 apiece. Inches of Death with 3, Crown Esports with 2, Tribe Warriors with 1, Afro Esports with 12, Vanguard, Vortex, Luick, and Unsullied Army with no points. And that is the game of the games. First game of the night. Erangel at its finest. The Super Weekend is up in full swing. 28 points, 18 eliminations. That is how you set the ball rolling. Ecstasy breathing fire on the opposition, and that is what we love to see. But it's not over just yet. We've still got 3 maps to go tonight. Miramar is up next, so do not touch that down. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and give your predictions for game number 2. We'll be right back after the break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. It is a Nigerian Pro League. It is the rain split. It is a super weekend, our second super weekend in a row. And we started off with a banger, ecstasy showing why they are the main characters of the game. The action kicks off in Miramar, planes in the air, and that will wave it like you just don't care. And that is a big step, a very big step. 16 teams vying for that top four spot to get straight into the rain split finals. They do not want to be in they do not want to be in survival stage that will be coming to your screen next week. So you already know. You already know. We all know what time it is. We just have to do it right. We just have to keep it 100. That will be an interesting turnout. But interesting, nothing too crazy about the playing path. Course right down the middle. I mean, it favors literally and everybody, just right down that middle spot. Nobody's losing any sleep over it, works the exact same way that it would. I think, most of the teams, they're gonna love this one. La Cobriera, Cris de Valle, teams in El Azhar, Campo Militar, Torre Ahumada. I mean, they're gonna love this right down the middle. Even water treatment teams, great graveyard teams, power grid teams, Los Leones teams. Maybe a team that don't love that love to be in El Pozo. This is slightly maybe gonna hurt them a little bit, but I think it's still very achievable. But I think you might get caught out by teams like Ecstasy and Dark Knights in that central position. But most of the teams in Chumacela and Ladriela, this could work out for them. The play zone could be a determining factor in how quick their rotations will be. Taking a look at the likes of four portions deep into the south, uncontested. Probably going to make a rotation through Minas del Sur, and that could work for them also. They could find a rotating path into Valdemar and play in from that southwestern side. We'll see if that is the choice they will make. But right now, Tribe Warriors, it is theirs to hold. Did not necessarily start the game on the best terms here. Looks like who could that be? That Arab T? It could be. Arab T do they are known to be in this position here again. Oh, but Creed gets the first drop now. Tribe Warriors in trouble again. Balons is already looking for a way to circle back again. He might be working this out. And the angles are there. Two bodies in the open now. Four of the guys for Tribe Warriors. They're trying to hold this down. Creed, if they can make something happen there with the F686, could shut this down there. Where is the rest of his teammates? Now would be the time for them to creep up on this scenario and hold this down. But Creed is doing everything he can to stall them out, but he can't seem to work this out into the angles there. One touch is all it'll take, and he will be getting stopped out. Tribe is trying to hold this down again. Tribe into the corner as well, but unfortunately, he will be stopped with a Winchester. Alonso is going to get that drop. Unfortunately, RFT too far away to be a threat, and that is very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Tribe Warriors will retreat. But that was very unfortunate for RFT. They could have done something here. Two players lost away, but no help inside. It is not the best. It is not the best way you want to start at all. Tribe Warriors on a warpath, owing to how they started their game today. Hopefully, this would be a better performance from them. But eyes will be on the likes of Dream Team and Neon Rising. Remember, the bonus points will start to clock in. starting from this game, eliminating the winners of a chicken dinner in the previous game, Ecstasy. I mean, would be the best call for them if they could make something out of this, but for the most part, it could be something else. Hopefully, we'll be locking in and locking through. Vortex playing this 2. Tribe Warriors, definitely on a mission in this game, putting things into perspective. But Dream Team gonna have to think about this one. Eyes will be on them in this game. They did have they didn't have the worst game in the world in the last game, Could have been so much better, I'll tell you that. Could have been better, but not the worst start. Definitely not the worst start. Couple of eliminations there, 4 points to the good, but it would be ideal for Vanguard, Vortex, Luick, and Unsullied Army to start to put points on the board. It would be the best time. AOD also trying to put points on the board against Neon Rising, but it's going to be very hard not to crack here. Wizard is looking for that open space, and they do have AOD pinched in. The only way they get out of this is if they can hold that building that they've currently got. Again, Wizard creeping up slowly but surely. Slowly but surely, taking it a second at a time. And he might be deciding to go prone instead, just to reduce the audio. And Neon Rising, they are committed here. Committed to making this push out. Azrael does have a little bit of an off angle defensively there, but he's still exposed to, I believe, Baby up onto that hillside position. And the moment he pokes his head out, he will be on the receiving end of some 5.56s and some 7.62s. Just have to be very careful. Now the path from Wizard. A little bit of a cut and dry, but that's an open space so far. Baby is warning them, but the opening they've been looking for has been found. And Jay will be punished now. Neon Rising know exactly who it is. AOD now have to press forward. Eric and Wesco, they've picked up on this. They know that Baby's up there, so they will try to stay out of his sightlines. And Azrael needs to get an open space. He needs to get an angle. He needs to get a position for Neon Rising before Neon Rising will be oblivious, or rather be obvious of his position. He has to provide some sort of element of surprise here. Westco plays directly behind him. This could be the opening they're looking for, though. They're trying to lock this one in. That will be one tossed just over the top side. That one stays locked in. AOD fighting with everything they've got here to keep their numbers up. But Baby has already caused them a roadblock as he was able to find Jay. And now the numbers advantage will go to Neon Rising. And they might be able to get an angle here from Baby's position. He is coming through that to left-hand side. When you are in situations like this, it's always ideal to make a play. You have to make a play. You cannot allow a team to make a play for you the moment you are taking the deficit. AOD have taken the deficit, and now the push is on. The smoke already shields the path, and Baby's already making that play. He spotted. Wesco gets dropped away by Wizard, and this is going to be a very clean sweep. AOD doesn't look like much is going to go through there. Eric is already low on HP, and the DBS will crack him as well. Back shot all the way through, one by one. AOD getting absolutely railroaded here, and Azrael will be the last one left for them. And Neon Rising showing exactly why they are who they are. 3 eliminations to the good, taking little to no damage. AOD down to just the last man. Azrael could not apply any form of pressure while all of that was going on. And now they will try to keep this on for the longest time. Neon Rising on the front foot, 3 eliminations, breaking it in. Dream Team Hillside looking good for them. Harsh Esports now on the attack, able to get a drop, get a major drop on the guys from Arab T. Looked like that grenade was perfectly launched. Arab T down to 1 now. We've got 2 teams with 1 player, Arab T and AOD. Again, not the best start, absolutely not the best start. But it is not the worst thing to happen to them, though. They've been quite proactive. They're quite proactive in the way they, keep the onset. Again, keep the positions on. They plan on doing this for the most part, but But RG Sports, they didn't necessarily have a bad game in game 1, but did they get caught lacking earlier on would be ideal for them to finish this very, very strongly. Again, that puts things into perspective for them. And that play zone is something special though. Makes a little bit of a move though. The western side of the zone is still very much in the open. I think Four Portions have had a very smooth rotation from that western side. It's worked miracles for them. They have been very proactive with it. That keeps things into a very, very soft position. It's a very interesting lineup. For esports, also not the worst game they could have, but like I said earlier, it could be, it could take this game out though if they don't lose any of their players earlier on. This is usually around the time Afro Esports get players they start losing players out. But Vortex, they have done everything right. Omar has started to get a little bit illustrious here. It's Lewick that has been on his sights, and he does get a drop on them as well. Sicario is the one to hold this on, but Bego gets dropped again by the beast, and he will be getting flushed to follow through. Bego has not had the best start today at all. Sicario goes down, Schroeder is going to be another victim. Ecstasy and the beast And the bottom user and him as well. Amar had to be very careful there. Ja will set his sights onto the guys from Tribe again. They're taking hits and they're losing out. In Ecstasy, do they want to commit? Amar again has taken yet another hit. And Dream Team absolutely punished by Tribe Warriors. And that was a wipe and a half. 5 eliminations going to Tribe Warriors. They've started to put the work in once again, showing their consistency. We've seen it time and time again. She Sports have had a very interesting turnout for this rotation that they've got so far. Now it might be the first time they do go up against another team that has been very proactive in rotations as well. Roman from Four Portions, he's scouted a little bit of intel here. They are aware that that if they do have any team coming through, this would be the direction they would choose to make their move from. So they will be getting set for either a defensive line or an ambush. Harsh Esports will make them decide and make them decide quickly. Playzone already hot on their heels, trying to force them out. Again, Ronu, we saw him get obliterated earlier on in game one for Harsh Esports. They did not have the best start in that game, but they did manage to put some eliminations between themselves and the rest of the lobby. The Vanguard and Solid Army may have something about that one as well. The Beast is going to be knocked away here by Ecstasy. I believe it's Trader that gets the drop in, and it looks like they are getting a piece of that. And Neon Rising are the ones that will be crashing the party. Luick trying to fight for their lives here, trying to fight through, and they might decide to take this one out. Ecstasy, if they want a piece of this would be the time. Neon Rising trying to hold this on. The Beast is trying to circle it back again into that position, trying to hold it down, but the Beast and the rest of the guys from Neon Rising are not too aware, but they will close it down. Luick go out in 15th. Neon Rising will be the ones to put the final nail on that coffin, and now they will assume that position and now become the new object of fascination for Ecstasy. 3 eliminations so far, coming off an 18 elimination stint. Remember, you get bonuses if you finish and get a chicken dinner as a complete squad. There's also bonuses for back-to-back chicken dinners. And also for eliminating the team that won the chicken dinner of the previous game. And that will be the end for Vortex. Road goes out to the S12K. Does get packed up with the quickness. Harsh Esports once again inkling away at those points, nibbling away, getting a taste for it. 2 eliminations, and they're creeping up. They're adding more and more. Still a ways to go before they get to the likes of Four Portions, though. Unsullied Army have added 1 into their ranks, courtesy of Federal. But there's still a ways to go. Still places to see. Still ground to cover. Unsullied Army could be theirs, could be anybody's here. But there has to be a sight line. There has to be a thought process going into this, though. They could be trying to close something down. Tori goes down as well. Afro Esports Rhythm being discovered. First elimination of this map. Now Arab T setting defense for 3 Crown Esports, and I believe they are. It is 1 player left. Nexus goes down to him as well. Tribe Warriors now setting their sights on Neon Rising. Somehow a lot of action brewing in that central position. The rotation is already on the way. 50 seconds on the clock. And all of these teams are starting to lock in inside that central position. Vanquish and Vanguard working hand in hand, trying to keep it down. And Afro Esports trying to close this, whatever is left. They want this. They are making it 5-4. Vanguard on the receiving end now. Frank back to the left. The grenade is already getting tossed inside. It bounces right off the walls, but it doesn't connect. Another grenade there, but this time it will connect. 22K Boogie is too far out to be of any assistance to his teammate. They are playing in a split, and they have been punished for playing in a split. In a split, Afro Esports have turned it out on them. And that ambush that we're talking about now, it looks like it has started to kick off. Four portions will take one away from Arch Esports. Amar is going to be a victim of 87K. It goes out to Dark Knights. Again, they are trying to breathe this on. 911 getting knocked away here on that western side. An open space for four portions to exploit right now. And it's going to be a harder push to come through. They are trying to hold this on. Neon Rising want a piece of the action as well. They did lose Noisy. They did lose Baby in all of this chaos and in all of this commotion that was going on. In Neon Rising, their four eliminations puts them in a very good spot, but it's not even easier. They had no idea that the demon was lying in wait to get instantaneously punished. But Wizard was there to avenge his fallen teammate. And that was the story. Harsh Esports will be going out, but not without taking a chunk of flesh out of Neon Rising. And it's all left to Wizard now. Four portions have been able to keep this entire position on. We saw their rotation. We saw the position they landed in. They are also one of the favorites in a Miramar game. They still yet to put numbers on the board here. Four portions do have them in their sight line. They might just have to creep up to that position just to apply a little bit more pressure and be up close and personal with it. The play zone is over to this western side, just a little bit closer there. But four portions, I believe they can play out of this hillside position and still keep an eye on foul play while they do it. Could be some chaotic and open angles. But it could work going forward. Looks like Federal is going to be a victim of circumstance this time, as Gonzalo will take their first hits. But it doesn't look like foul play can do much from the position that they found themselves in. Don't forget, they lost 5 teams in all of this. Crusader continues to fight this down. We'll trade one off and get an extra elimination for XC. Picking you from it. Aimbot looking for a way through. And Dark Knights continue to play along the edges of the zone there. They've secured yet another knock through. And it would be one for the history books. Dark Knights are trying to close this down. They get another drop on Afro Esports. Can they capitalize though? 2 knocks now. There's 2 bodies for Afro that go down. You know me with the final hit, with the final blow. And that will be the end of the road for Pride Boy again. Toxic looking for a way inside to close this down. DBS into the corner as well. Toxic has to be very careful. The smokes into the corner as well. Immediately gets dropped off. Neil had no idea that that was going to be his fate. And looks like more will not be coming through. Swap plays behind. It's going to be the last one left for Afro Esports. Tribe Warriors in front. Dark Knights at the back. That is a sandwich that you do not want to make. That is a sandwich you do not want to get caught in. And Afro Esports, SWAT is the last one left. Can he turn this around? Can he pull off something special here? Neo continues to get tapped away by surgery. That elimination will be stolen away though, And he tries to circle that one back, tries around inside. Crusader falls to the play zone now. Ecstasy in trouble. They're down to one, and they might be working this out into that final third. Here comes SWAT trying to hold us down. Grenade and the Molotovs and all sorts of utilities. They start to fly up. HKK just with a beautiful off angle here, waiting for Spot to extend that open space, and they might be getting dropped away though. And now they will hold on a little bit closer now. They still continue that onslaught position. Swart into the side again. Packs it in. Not this time. Trapped grenade will knock his teammate. Two players now knocked away for Dark Knights. Surely Swart knows. He's aware, but he's actually going for a pickup. He's going for a pickup instead. And it looks like that's not going to be the case for him. Afro Esports, they could have capitalized on this. They could have turned this around, but the pickup's already coming through. And it's very unfortunate that this is not working out. You know me, still knocked away. Toxic, still very low on HP. And another one again. Toxic's grenade bounces off the walls. He gets knocked away. Afro Esports, surely he knows that these grenades are in his favor. What will he do about it, though? Will he capitalize? Doesn't look like he will. And he will be getting swept away by Trap. And Dark Knights will not be stopped. Afro Esports go out in ninth. The foul play and Unsullied Army have started to trade blows. Unsullied Army actually will be going out this time, and not a minute sooner. Dark Knights looking to close this down, looking to take this out, looking to make it theirs, looking to finish as 4 as well. Potentially the only team with 4 players up. 4 portions have taken hits. 3 Crown Esports also eliminated. No points on the board for them. Merrick, the last one to go out. And now we're down to 16 players in the cut. And 4 portions. Now would be the time for them to make something out of this, though, but they spotted foul play. Foul play could be the team to force some chaos for them. PlayStation 2 is the victim. He's spotted out. And your Rising have been dropped off as well. Aimbot falls to the zone here, but looks like 4 portions will have to hightail it and get into the zone relatively very quickly. They're taking hit after hit. PlayStation 0 will go out as well. And foul play have been reduced to just 1 man. But he will not be alive for much longer. They will go out to the play zone. But they will go out with 4 eliminations as well. And that would be the one that gets the job done. And now, the opening that we're looking for. Doesn't look like they might be able to find it here. Oh, what a spray from Roman! And Roman will reign here at another drop. Touch is the one that puts the final screws to them. And nobody here is finishing as 4. Tribe Warriors playing as 3. Dark Knight also playing as 3. Arab T somehow at Arodo has survived into the final third. Arab T still having one of the first players to be sent back into the lobby and still somehow being a final third is something sort of special. Tribe Warriors and Dark Knight really trading on. We'll have to throw out Roman again with a spray again. Roman continues to apply pressure. He takes another one away from Dark Knights and puts them in a very harsh spot. They do have the play zone. The tap coming through again. Roman. Ooh, chicken dinner Tribe Warriors. Well done. Absolutely incredible finish for them. Atarudo almost played a nasty spoiler. but it looks like that was not going to be the case this time around. What a finish that was for the guys from Tribe Warriors. Once again, they turned the heat on. They make the job easy. They make the job easy again. Surgery with 5, touch with 4, top C with none, but Lons was there to add 5 to the mix. And that is the job. That is the job. Absolutely incredible. 7,300 in Hill's 36th assist. I think much less than the one we saw. Yeah, and the one we saw in Erangel was much less. Do apologize for the break in transmission here. A lot of technical difficulties on my end, internet wise, but I believe it has been sorted out. The Tribe Warriors again putting in that work. 2,300 in damage points. You cannot make this up. These guys put in a lot of work. They put in a lot of effort. Dark Knights trying to do something special again, adding some more indigenous points to what they've already collated so far. I'm not sure any team eliminated Ecstasy. I think Ecstasy lost all of their players to the zone in a bid to keep the points away. That is still part of the strategy. That is still part of the job. But again, you don't want to do that if you don't. You don't want to do that if you don't get some points on the board for yourself in that game, because if you tank it, it's basically chicken dinner in this game. 0 points in the next game. Again, you get to tie yourself in. But the MVP, Lons, is the front man for Tribe Warriors, doing 900 plus in damage points. Again, well deserved, well done, and well cooked nonetheless. More stuff, more cuts coming through, as we've all seen here for the guys from Tribe Warriors. Touch is also in there in second place with 4 eliminations and 700 in damage points. Not too far up, but Surgery's there. Top three players, all from Tribe Warriors. That's to show you the level of domination they had in this game. But now Roman was also putting in that work. 3 eliminations as well. Tarudo somehow for our team made it all the way into the final third and was still able to add some more eliminations for them. Arab T still putting in work with that second place finish from Atarudo. Was absolutely incredible for them. 25 points for Tribe Warriors, 11 for Dark Knights, 9 for Arab T, 4 portions also with 9. Leon Rising with 5 played, 7 Ecstasy with 4. Afro Esports with 3, Harsh Esports also with 3, Solid Army 2, Dream Team with 1, 3 Crown Esports, and Luik with 1 as well. Vanguard, Vortex, and Angels of Death, unfortunately, no points on the board for them, but they still have 2 more games to prove their worth. Still, Wizard is leading the charge. He's leading the front lines for the MVP race as it stands with 9 eliminations, 1,500 to the good. And Amar is still steady behind him there with 7. Trader and Atarudo all sharing the spoils. Trader still has 9 limbs there, 700 damage to the good, but Atarudo is there with 7 and over 1,000. And that's what we love to see. Lons has broken into that top 5 with his elimination so far, but also closer to 1,000 as well. Let's take a look at overall standings. 32 points for Ecstasy. They are still leading the charge after that performance for Tribe Warriors and Dark Tide at 26 points apiece. But that chicken dinner puts Tribe just ahead of Dark Knights, as Dark Knights are still yet to secure a chicken dinner, but they have been very consistent, putting in some good points there. Neon Rising also very consistent. 21 points to the good, 4 portions to the good as well. 18 points. Arab T with 15 and Foul Play with 13. So far, Archie Sports all the way down to Vortex. None of these teams have been able to cross double digits in the final third. 2 games in, 2 more to go, though it's not over just yet. They could work this out. They could make something special out of it in the next game. Are we going to have a brand new chicken dinner winner, or one of the 2 teams that have already gotten a chicken dinner gets their next chicken dinner? But it's all about the resources, it's all about the plans, it's all about the execution in the super weekend. 2 games down, 2 more to go. Sandhawk is up next. The the map that everybody loves all the chaos and all the action in. So do not touch that. That will be right back after the break, and I'll see you guys in Sanok. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the party keeps rocking. Welcome back to the show. It is the Nigerian Pro League. It is rain split. It is a super weekend. And you already know what time it is. We've seen two amazing chicken dinners, Tribe Warriors and Ecstasy, going band for band. They're a little bit closer than one would think. The super weekend is a little more tighter than you would expect, and now you're starting to see it. Super weekend is not really where one team starts to run away with it on the first day. You're starting to see some competition in here, but it's 2 games in. Are we going to see the same thing in game number three? These are the questions. This is exactly what we're trying to find out. The NPL continues, and what a beautiful, beautiful playing path this is. No excuses. Right down the middle, cut right in the middle. Everybody can go exactly where they need to go. Tribe Warriors already making their move. Hashi Sports as well. Unsullied Army with the same idea. AOD playing off that eastern side. I mean, this is heaven for most of these teams. Nobody's getting outstaged, but it looks like Ecstasy. And who is that? Is that three Crown Esports in they're not in Pioneer, they're in boot camp. Who's in boot camp with Ecstasy though? That would be very interesting though. That's a very interesting one to look out for. Afro Esports on the southwestern side of Sami, Hambang will host Neon Rising in a two reeling from behind right now, guys. But hopefully we are back and stronger. So, like we saw earlier on, um, I was curious as to see who is that in what's it called? In boot camp with Ecstasy, like it is, yeah, it is boot camp reports actually. That's one for the books, okay, yeah, that is one for the book. So it's a matter of eliminating Tribe Warriors now. Get those bonus points if you Vanguard trying to lay an ambush on this Vanguard. Four potions. They've traded off one apiece. And, ooh, you love the song of that honey badger. I'll tell you that one. Vanguard have tried so many different things, into the mix. Again, it's gonna be a lot for them to make some tribe warriors. Ooh, looks like we are back. Apologies again for the technical difficulties. It is internet connection, but it has been rectified. Hopefully, and we will be moving on. Looks like Ecstasy did manage to steal one away from Three Crown Esports again. Them being in boot camp is a little bit out of character. Very out of character for them. Looks like AOD, on the other hand, have run into the guys from Vanguard Esports, and it looks like Vanity might be the one probably giving them some intel from the back end there. But 8-8 is in the mix here for AOD, the front man for them. He was missing for earlier in the competition, but he's back in the mix now. This could be something that puts them into perspective. Wesker will be getting picked up. Eric applies a little bit more of that pressure. Good use of utilities there for AOD. That will be something that they have put into perspective. Now they will try to lock it down. And Enjoy will not be enjoying this at all. Three Crown Esports eliminated yet again. But this time, Boogie also gets dropped by Wesco. And Vanguard will lose out yet again. And AOD add 2 to the tally. And Tribe Warriors have been eliminated actually by Harsh Esports. They were swept away there. And it looks like Harsh Esports get that bonus, right? Yep, Harsh Esports looks like they get the bonus points for eliminating Tribe Warriors. And AOD finally showing some initiative. Probably looking for the last player from Vanguard. Eight from AOD has been the front man for them so far. Has been coordinating and the IGL for AOD ever since he came back from his injury. He has been cooking for Angels of Death. But can they get their way into a chicken dinner? So now would be the time. Looks like Vanquish will be vanquished by Atarudo there, Arab T, securing their first elimination of the game and putting Vanguard in the dirt. Vanguard have been struggling today. Really struggling. 3 games down, only 1 point so far. That is not the ideal way to start things off at all. Not ideal, not even in the slightest. Dark Knight's getting a little bit busy. Play zone is shrinking. It is shrinking, shrinking, shrinking. Ooh, that's a big shot from Toxic. Now Neon Rising, can they put a stop to the guys from Dark Knights? Toxic's trying to hold this on, but General's grenade is inch perfect, baby. with an angle of the gods there, but at least able to alleviate some of that pressure. But again, it's taking hits after hits. Toxic has to be very careful there. Noisy has the angle on him, but it doesn't get him dropped off. Again, he tries to circle it back into the right-hand side. Beautiful shot from Noisy again. Two DBS shots will block that one. Davidson on the back end trying to apply for that pressure, but Afro Esports have decided to get a piece of the action as well. And this is a perfect arrival for Afro Esports. They saw their opportunity and they took it. Trap, back end, getting backdoored. And final boss is going to be spotted as well. Dark Knights had no idea that Afro Esports had their number and they dialed it in. Neon Rising also victims in all of that. Now, that is how you third party. Dark Knights getting absolutely tossed to the side. Neon Rising as well. Both teams cut down to just one player apiece. And that is the beauty of the off angle. They get to survive. She Sports will think twice again. They are also taking hits. They will lose one in that exchange. AOD have a sideline to that position. Eric hopping and scatting right through. Hopping and scatting right through to close the gap, close the initiative here. Dream Team also have been on the receiving end for the most part. We will be using another player, Rondo, getting caught out by 8-8 again. He was biting the dust. And that is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate, if you ask me. DOD gonna have to think twice. Well, it is working out in the favor though. AOD, they did lose one, but the position they've got in the play zone now is very, very favorable. Louis starting to take hits. Afro Esports on the hinge here. 6 eliminations. 6 eliminations. Again, it's a very good way to kick things off for themselves in this last game, in this third game of the night, actually. Foul play also another team that's relatively gone under the radar in Sandhawk so far, but it looks like they've started to ramp up the pressure. They're getting a drop onto the guys from Dream Team. They maybe could capitalize on this. I mean, he can spot 911, right? 911 is in a car right in front of you. He can see him, right? He can see 911 in the car, right? There's no way he doesn't see him, right? Wow. Wow, he didn't see him the whole time. Yeah, Eric, it might be time for Eric to pack it up, man. Now they're aware of him. No element of surprise here. Sad from Dream Team has also been pushed to the side. And that is not ideal. Oh, what a grenade from Sicario. But again, it's not over just yet. Only Neil has been a victim on another grenade from the Beast. And now, Afro Esports in trouble here. They can't seem to breach Lewick. And Swat has to do something here. He has to. He cannot afford to get locked out. Swashboo will follow suit. And unfortunately, Swat, there is nothing he could do now. The tables have turned. Schroeder's already making that play for it. Over to the left-hand side. Gas to get the angles there. 2, 3 players from Lewick trying to hold this on. Molotov immediately tossed down. He's getting burned up. One shot is all it takes and all it will take. And Afro Esports absolutely outclassed by Lewick in a beautiful defensive breach again. That is a first touch. Beautiful touch from Eric. Angles on angles there from Afro Esports Dream Team getting absolutely cooked by foul play. And that will be the end of the road for them yet again. And they will be trying to have a pick of the litter. She Sports getting belted one by one. And they are feeling the consequences now. 9-1-1 will be the last one left. It is something that's hurt the team so far. AOD have defended that position perfectly, but now will they be able to defend against Arab T? As AA gets dropped off. AOD in trouble now. They've lost their front man. Creed was knocked away there, but it looks like he will be getting picked up. He's in a very protected and defensive position. If they can get to him, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Unsullied Army on the receiving end of some chaotic positions right now. They've got 3 eliminations. Federal gets a drop on PlayStation 2. Unsullied Army on the front foot right now. Federal trying to get an angle there. Plays on the right-hand side. Switches over to the right-hand side again. That's a beautiful touch. Molotov as well to shield it through. Sure, all now trying looking for a way through. Trying to get the first touch again. S12K to warn him. Get the angles on him. He's trying to close this down and he swaps right through. Molotov just in the corner. Perfectly done by Federal. He cracks it in. And now Unsullied Army, they smell blood in the water. Federal, clutch for the days. And you will run away. Foul play. Will play no more. Unsullied Army will clutch it in 6 eliminations to the good. Now, in all of this chaos, Ecstasy have decided to play spoiler, decided to play third party, and they do have the zone a little bit further uphill. Unsullied Army have a very, very uphill battle to fight here. That's a good grenade from Spaced. And Trader could be the victim of something special here. Stars with the knocked away Crusader already making a play for it, making a run for the off angle there. Unsullied Army in trouble. The pickup is a little bit dangerous there, but could be something. They do have a vehicle. They do have a vehicle, so they can wrap around and play in from that northern side. Neon Rising do have their last man up into the zone. Arab T continuously with the pressure on. Federal onto the front foot. He's trying to hold this off. Unsullied Army somehow back to full strength. Somehow back to full strength. Somehow, Unsullied Army have been absolutely masterful in their defensive position, and they will be able to hold this down, but they have to find a way inside of that circle. And it will not be ideal for them to go through Ecstasy, though. Trader already had a sideline to that position, almost getting the drop on SARS and Space. Again, Federal is exposed to the left-hand side, and it will be getting dropped. Again, a blind spot. Unsullied Army will have to circle back and make their way into the zone. It would be the most ideal thing to do. They have to leave Federal. There's no way they can get to him. Bego has taken a hit as well. But again, the angles, the off angles from Ecstasy are too good. They're too wide. They can't seem to get the angles right. It would be ideal for them to get into the zone and get ahead of Ecstasy. That would be the better choice. It would be the better idea. And you will run, oh, but you can't run far. You can't run away from Miramar. And Unsullied Army, again, too close. Driving too close. And Trader also getting dropped off. The Space will be traded off immediately as well. And Unsullied Army in an unfortunate state. Federal still knocked away, but I believe he could have gotten picked up by SARS owing to the spread from Ecstasy, but unfortunately too far out. No vehicles. Doesn't look like much is going to come out from this. Amar has been absolutely incredible holding the line for Ecstasy, and he might decide to play a push for this a little bit further down the road there, but do they want to commit? Again, if you're trying to make a rotation here, why are you driving across the street? Why not make a farther rotation deeper out of the sidelines of Unsullied of Ecstasy? I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's a serious no-brainer. And it looks like Ecstasy wants to win as 4. I mean, being in the zone when it hits zone 5 is diabolical stuff, man. You do not want to, you just don't want to do it. You just don't want to. You do not want to be in the zone right now in the next 30 seconds. That is not what you want. This ain't what you want for sure. It ain't what you want. It is not what you want. Bags on the prize now, 4 portions on the receiving end from Lewick, but the angles here are much more favorable to 4 portions. They have the hillside position if they can apply some of this pressure. Lewick won a piece of the action as well. The Beast plays off the right hand side, gets a beautiful angle, but Regioso does have the baseline covered on that hillside position. To trade this one off, and Lewick has to be very careful. He's deep in the blue zone. It might be getting dropped off here. The user has been picked up. Lewick do have the Pick is out. On the blaze on Will Hart. Roman goes out, down again. And it is absolute chaos here. Big chaos, big chaotic scene for Lewis. The four portions might have something to say about this one. Regioso has been very, very good playing ankle position for them. Roman, unfortunately, will not see the light of day anymore in this match. He has been swept away. And Neon Rising, unfortunately, will take a hit as well. Unsullied Army will lose yet another. Lewis trying to fight an uphill battle here. The four portions have decided to make the play zone the object of desire right there. And that grenade could have been very, very, very dastardly for Louis Sicario, just making sure that the opposition was no longer in the vicinity. Louis with a front line and a front grasp. And they have made their way in. SARS, be careful. The idea, Mod is going grenade for grenade, but not this time. Crusader will put the shell back in. And Unsullied Army will be going out as well. Four portions, pointing to dust. Into a barely jarring finish. And that will be Unsullied Army joining them as well. Ecstasy, they can smell it. Ecstasy, they know it. They're very aware of it now. We're down to 4 teams, but Arab T very under the radar so far. Dark Knight still have a man in the cut. It is Trap. He's very capable. He is very dangerous. Crusader has been spotted by Sicario. If his spray is good, it could be some. It could mean something here. Oh, could mean something for Luick again. Over to the other side. Trap trying a little bit of a peek. Will almost turn into Pikachu there. Dark Knight. Not sure what happened there, but that was one for the books. And yes, that is the road. Back into the lobby he will go. Dark Knights go out in third. Amar with the final hit onto the team as well. Ecstasy cruising through here. Cruising in. Trader gets the drop on Sicario. Lewick couldn't make the angles work. Arab T now looking for a way inside. Creed a little bit closer than one would like, though. Amar charging the grenade, charging it well. Perfectly launched. Over to the right-hand side, trying to close it down. And that will be the one they are looking for. That will be the job well done. Creed with a final touch on the beast. And he's been spotted. Grenade perfectly launched on his side. Ecstasy. They know that they have it in their hands now. Creed, there's only so much he could do. Grenade from Amar again. Will he tank the blue? Reckless. All by his lonesome here. He's in the blue zone. And Haroldo, can he find Bego? The drop here. Have no idea. Bego might be getting swept off. Over to the right-hand side. Bego gets dropped again, but will not be getting clutched. Amar to the rescue. Ecstasy chicken dinner. Second time in the night. Unstoppable. Ecstasy doing all they need to do. Winning the chicken dinner as for. That is where they come clutch yet again. Amar, 7 eliminations, 3 for Crusader, 2 for Bego, 1 for Trader. Let's see the bane of the existence of some of the teams in the lobby right now. They're going farther and farther away from the rest of the opposition. And it is well deserved. Well deserved. That is how you get the job done. That is how you make it happen. $2,200 for Ecstasy. Ivor T still in the mix there. Still very much in the mix. They have done an incredible job. if you ask me. Playing as three, we've still been able to put the work in. But of course, MVP, none other than Amar, over 1,000 in damage, point 7 eliminations, barely even had to heal. What a performance from Amar. One for the books. Hefty, hefty, very, very hefty. And we put them on notice. We put a lot of them on notice to show the levels of his abilities there. He's leading the front lines with the limbs 7, but Federal from Unsullied Army finally puts himself in the conversations for MVP. 3 eliminations, but look at the damage. Creed following suit as well for Arab T, Crusader, and Bego in the mix. Bego putting in a lot of work inside of this as well. Does that one. Big numbers. 23 points for Ecstasy. Arab T with 13. Luik once again. Arab T, that's back-to-back second place finishes though. Luik in third with 10. Unsullied Army with 9. Afro Esports with 6. Harsh Esports also with 6. Dark Knights with 5. Angels of Death with 4. 4 Portions with 3. Fountain with 2. Tribe Warriors 2 apiece with Neon Rising. And Dream Team 3. Crown Esports and Vortex, no points on the board for them. And that should tell you all you need to know. That should tell you all you need to know, that these guys put in all of that effort. But take a look at that. Amar showing us exactly who he is once again, turning up the heat. 14 eliminations, 2,600 in damage points. That is all to tell you. He has even a gap between himself and Wizard, 1,500. Crusader tied with 9, Traitor with 9, and Atarudo with 9 as well for Arab T. Take a look at the overall leaderboard to show you what it's looking like right now. Ecstasy starting once again to leave the opposition in the dust. The Dark Knights getting left behind. 2 chicken dinners for Ecstasy puts them at 55 points, 31 to Dark Knights. Very reachable for Arab T as they make their way into top 3. Tribe Warriors go down a point behind Arab T as well with 27. Neon Rising still in the mix with 22. 4 Portions with 21. Foul Play and Harsh Esports 15 apiece, yet to break into the 20s. Luik, that performance puts them into 11 points. Unsullied Army also break into the top 10 with 11 points. Afro Esports in the mix as well with 10. AOD all the way down to Vortex, no points secured for the Vortex team. Dream Team still struggling here, 5 points out of 3 games. Vanguard with 1 point out of 3. A big ride so far. 3 games in, 2 chicken dinners going to Ecstasy out of those 3, and now we have the last game of the night, and you guessed it, it is Vicendi. A little bit a break from the norm to get a different type of playstyle, a different type of team, a different type of team profile. But then again, Ecstasy and Neon Rising are the 2 teams that have been having a solid game in Vicendi over the past Super Weekend, and now we are going to see Candy do more of the same. Eyes peeled on the stories. The lock-in stays locked in. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 games down, 1 more to go. Vicendi is up next, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Do not touch that dial. We'll be right back after the break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the action does not stop. It is the NPL. It is the Rain Space, a super weekend, and it is the last match of the night. It is Weekendy. Different strategy, different strokes for different pros, and we're about to see who will come clutch in this last game. The party never stops. It cuts to the side. Ugh. That's the thing with Vikendi. Is always very tricky. It is always very tricky when it's time to get the job done. It is always very tricky. The play path is always nasty work. The play zone is equally as nasty, man. You always gotta make sure you get it right on the first try. You know, a lot of teams they are probably gonna land on each other, and that is not something they want to see. I mean, but then if you took some intel from the last stream, did a little bit of vibe reviews, you know, you get an idea, you get something to work with. You know, going into the last game, you would think about, okay, all or nothing, you know, all or nothing. Remember, eliminate ecstasy, get those bonus points, and try to, or ecstasy will win again, get a bonus of back-to-back chicken dinners, and potentially, if they can finish as four again, that will put things into a milder perspective. But eyes on the prize again, 3 Crown Esports and ecstasy, they started to lock horns very quickly. Very quickly. 3 Crown Esports fall into ecstasy again like they did in Sandhawk. That is exactly how it went down. It looks like it's going to be the same case again this time. 3 Crown Esports playing as two. They've lost one. 3 Crown Esports playing in the survival stage. It's almost certain now. It is almost certain, you know. 3 Crown Esports going to the finals. I mean, I don't see it happening. Going straight to the range play finals. I don't see that happening. You know, I really don't see that happening for them. Maybe through the super weekend, right? Maybe through the super weekend. But we will see. It's like a rogue. Vortex taking a hit, taking a page chunk from Neon Rising again. Triumph Warriors on the front foot again. They've started to change things out one by one. Vortex on the other side. Neon Rising putting in the work to them. And that will be the end of Vortex again. Neon Rising clamping up, adding 3 to the tally, adding more bodies to the cut, doing way more than one would like them to do, but they are putting in the work. And they are putting it down. They are putting it down. Absolutely incredible from Neon Rising. Slowly but surely trying to get themselves back into that top 3. Remember, top 4 will advance to the Rain Split Finals directly, and we don't have to play in the survival stage next week. So a lot has rivaled in the cut. But we're gonna think it through this time. I'm gonna link it up, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Are we gonna put more effort between them, more in the lines? Arab T. Oh, well, Saibao needed himself there. He's gone back into the lobby. Unfortunately, 3 Crown Esports lose out again. 3 Crown Esports not necessarily the best start for them, but at least they will not be finishing in last place today. Vortex, no points in 4 games. I mean, even COB was not bad. Even COB was not as bad, you know? They, ooh, ooh, yeah, Jay was unlucky there. Absolutely gets smothered by the G36 from aimbot. 4 portions starting off very strongly here. 21 points, not too far away from 31, being currently in the front lines. And the second place by Dark Knights. I mean, four portions have really gone under the radar today. Only to the fact maybe they've not gotten a chicken dinner, but they have been quite consistent in getting the points. Four portions now. I think they do want a piece of this. They do want to deal with AOD, but I feel someone is going to get hurt from four portions here. If they're not careful, if they don't play this right. But Lewick is also in the mix, so there's a chance for a third party. But whose third party is it going to be? AOD could be in the middle of a sandwich here. No, yeah, they are in the middle of a sandwich actually. Aimbot is trying to apply some of that pressure, and Azrael has given away his position, so Aimbot will be aware not to poke too much, but Reckless will be warned. Afro Esports, can they capitalize though? Ooh, that was very close. Reckless still knocked away there. More pressure on Arab T. They've not been able to get him picked up. Creed is making a push for it, but Afro Esports looks like this could be theirs. Atarodo plays behind. Reckless still knocked away. Atarodo again onto the other side, but he will be getting dropped off. Managed to make it through. Creed into the right-hand side. Does have the DBA and the reset and the jump shot into the right-hand side again. Beautiful jump shot and a perfectly executed drop. And Arab T, for the first time tonight, they will not get any points. They will be riddled all the way back into the lobby by Afro Esports. Again, Afro Esports starting very strongly, very well. Can they keep that momentum into the end of the game? We'll have to see for ourselves. It looks like AOD. Now their sights are set. Regioso's grenade. Oh, the Molotov from Regioso will catch to AOD at 8-8 goes back into the lobby. AOD, very unfortunate. Not sure who's left for them. I believe it's Wesco. And there's only so much he can do by lonesome there. But it is not the worst thing for them. Is it Wesco or is Azrael? Actually, Azrael actually getting a drop. And that grenade could have been very, very detrimental for four portions. Tribe Warrior is lost too. Dark Knight trying to hold it down, but trapped with the final blow onto the final cut. And that's the end of the road for them. Tribe Warriors will go out in third. Neon Rising with a clear-cut opportunity to finish inside of the top three now. All they need is to stay and stick it and get a couple of more eliminations, or at least survive into the final third. And that could be theirs. It could be a very good way to finish the day. Biggie up right in front. Vanguard also not had the best start today. Four portions already bloodthirsty. They have eliminated AOD. And how much more can they do? Boogie was spotted. Immediately the shots will fly over his head. And that could be an opportunity to back it in. More pressure on the front lines for Vanguard. Four portions looking for a way through here. Again, when you are in positions like these, what you need is a special angle. You can see Aimbot has a special angle here. Vanity needs to get a special angle, either him or Torrid, because he's in front and Torrid is right behind him. Look at Skinny as well. Skinny with an angle for one. And Roman is the one that gets the knock, the opening sequence now for four portions. And here they come with more on the horizon. Stealing to the other side of the back end here. A grenade perfectly launched. I mean, that was the next call of play here. The Vanguard could be there again. Oh, beautiful stuff from Vanity again. Gets a drop on his position. Torrid goes down as well. And now more pressure again. Vanity gets another drop. Aimbot, two bodies now for Vanity. And all is Vanity this time. Skinny with the Molotov cocktail. They're looking for Vanity. Will they find him? Singing into the little bit of a corner space there. He has to get into the corner. Now Vanguard Esports in a 1v2. Skinny has to be very careful. He's bringing the shots into the right hand side. He's trying to get reloaded. He gets a drop on him. Vanity is clutched 1v3. Roman almost getting absolutely punished by Vanity. Vanguard would have done something special there. But Roman to the rescue of 4 portions. They were served 3 portions of something diabolical there. That would have been a sight if Vanity was able to clutch that up to a trade-off there. The zone closing up quite nicely. Afro Esports and Ecstasy have acres of space. A lot of teams playing up a little bit more central and in the south. Acres of space. You can see Amar up front, Ecstasy all playing behind him. Afro Esports also making their way through from that eastern side. They could make a play for Podvosto because Dark Knights are in the mix, but the only thing is 2, so that gives a lot of leeway, a lot of creativity, if you ask me. But Harsh Esports probably have ideas of their own, but we have thoughts of their own as well. That would be something. We have a little bit of a sideline here to work with. Afro Esports. I mean, if they don't get caught blue zone chasing, I think they have a chance here. You know, if they don't get caught blue zone chasing, I think they can do something here though. 4 portions, 8 eliminations. I mean, it's not the worst day in the world, but Roman has a lot of work to do. But he's also very adept, in keeping 4 portions above. He finds a way to get into the final third. Him and Atarudo, they have been absolutely incredible for their teams playing as solos and getting themselves all the way down into the last phase of the circle. What is this driving? What are these guys doing here? Play zone is on the move again. 10 teams all in the cut. Ecstasy so far have not been able to add to their elimination tally. Only 1 so far, courtesy, I believe, of Crusader. Neon Rising with a side set on Harsh Esports. It looks like Jay was caught lacking there, but unfortunately, don't see much coming out of this. Just a lot of utilities will be burned. There's an airdrop in the vicinity as well. Controlled up quite nicely there. That could be an open position though. Lewick, I believe, on foul play. Also want a piece of this. Do they want to commit though? I mean, would they commit? I don't see them doing that though. Would that be smart? Would that be wise? Would it be wise for them to commit? Oh, wow. Talk about a car crash. Baby will crash inside. Crash the party. And he will crash it expeditiously as well. And it is well deserved. What a reach, Harsh Esports. I mean, that's the thing I always talk about. You gotta make a play. You have to make a play. You just have to make a play. Harsh Esports really stood here and took it like good boys. That's really what happened here. Harsh Esports, they really stayed in this house. This is not even the type of compound that you can breach easily because there's a lot of entries, there's a lot of positions, there's a lot of blind spots, and that will be the end for Harsh Esports. Izanagi will kiss goodbye to the lobby. Neon Rising really put the screws to them that one time. And there's a chance here that Tribe Warriors will be relegated down to fifth place after that. Dream Team, they have been struggling all through today. The first super weekend in the league. Leicester, crinkle cut. Again, more positions here for Dream Team. Can they eliminate Unsullied Army? The funny thing is, you know, there was a time I would have said yes, that Dream Team would easily, deal with Unsullied Army, but I can't say the same right now. I think Unsullied Army with Federal in that lineup have something special going on there. So that could be, where I'm leaning towards. But Ecstasy, I mean, they're looking very comfortable right now. But they also have Neon Rising, Foul Play, Afro Esports, and Unsullied Army, and also Dream Team with 4 players alive. Only 4 portions, and Luik are not, and Dark Knights are not a complete squad, you know. But Ecstasy, you know, it's Vikendi, they tend to play Vikendi significantly slower. So that works in their favor as well. Big chance here they could get a back-to-back bonus and then finish as 4 again, and then, you know, um, just wrap this up. That I think that's the max. I think they can get a max bonus of 10 points from this game if they get a chicken dinner and also finishes 4. I think that's a plus 10 for Ecstasy, and it's something. It is something. I'll tell you that one. But unbeknownst to them, Neon Rising are in the vicinity as well. They might want a piece of this little play zone going on. 30 seconds until zone 5. That is where things will start to get a little bit more chaotic. 6 eliminations so far for Neon Rising. The placement points will soon start to rally up. The Dream Team in the mix. Up to that high ground position could work for them going into that last play of the game. And it could be the opening they've been looking for if Dream Team can make their way around without getting spotted. That next phase of the circle is crucial. If they can find their way there without any obstacles, it's going to be very, very hard press. Luik is up in front again. That is the idea here. The obstacles are starting to rear their heads. It is going to be in the form of Neon Rising, and they have a lot of angles covered. Baby's playing all that right hand side, could get a drop on them, but they will trade bullets as well, showing that the final boss is with a spray and a half. Well, that would be a vehicle going up in flames. Neon Rising have been quite peckish, looking for more bodies to put back into the lobby here. Afro Esports have a very solid spot inside of the zone as well. Dark Knights with the same idea. The play zone is about to do something very nasty, but where will it do it? Oh, circles up again. Dream Team, Neon Rising, all forced out of the zone. Afro Esports have found themselves smack dab in the center of all the action. And the play zone will speak volumes here. It will start to hurt. It is zone 5. It's not the one you want to get caught out in. So now there is a lot of ground to cover. And Solid Army have found themselves into a very nice niche position for them in the zone so far, trying to make something happen here. But it looks like it might be Dark Knights they are running into, though. And this might not be the way they wanted to play things out. Oh, he's heard the chaos. The grenade is already in hand. The trap has giving that intel. And that little bit of warning grenade there, will they think that one through? On Solid Army thinking twice about playing out of this position, though. They do not have the play zone yet, so they will have to think about it. But they will have to circle back. Do Dark Knights want to commit, though? That is the question. Ecstasy will be setting their sights on to the guys from Afro Esports. Can they breach? And here come the angles. Run. Overturned, overtrapped. Grenade over the top. Couple of inches shy. Not enough to get the job done. Bego does take a hit from Neon Rising now, and Bego goes back into the lobby. Neon Rising, they could take 10 points away from this now. Afro Esports also getting to the mix. That's a lot of chaos here, party after party. And Neon Rising now have been dropped down to just one player left. The smoke's already in path. That guy has to make a mad dash to the rest of his teammates to get them up. Trader still knocked away. Bego has to spread back into the lobby. And that was very, very close, but he will make it in time to get his teammates back up. Ecstasy have lost one, and they might lose another. Foul play somehow. They've started to etch inside of the zone here. Neon Rising have a lot of ground to cover, a lot of work to be done. Beautiful use of the smoke though. Afro Esports back to full strength. And 4 portions will go out, but what a valiant effort from Roman to keep them all the way in. Unfortunately, no placement points for them, but they did just enough to keep things in the running here. Noisy. Big move, big sting. And a drop line here. PlayStation Zero almost getting knocked away there. And he does get knocked away. Brought right out of his vehicle. Foul play in some serious trouble right now. Unsullied Army could be the ones to put a final nail in their coffin. Too short odds on that western side. He's trying to hold this down for foul play. But there's a lot of work to be done here if he can try to keep them at bay. Again, big grenade coming through from run. If he's perfectly dropped, he could get the job done. But Amar in trouble. He gets knocked away. He does get flushed. Who's going to bail the cat? Who will steal 10 points away and eliminate Ecstasy? Crusader will trade one off. Swash. Boo knocked away as well. And ooh, foul play in the mix. Again, they take a hit. Dream Team. They did lose 2 earlier on, but they will not stop fighting. They get a drop. Unsullied Army, though, if they can wrestle a position in the zone, it could speak volumes. Dark Knights still very much in it here. Peter gets dropped away. Foul play as well, holding on. Unsullied Army have more to deal with. Another jump shot from that guy again. Trying to get an angle. Grenade jumps into the corner as well. Tries to back it in. Molotov right through the walls. Almost getting the job done, but this time around, he will not be so lucky. Pride goes before a fall, and he falls away. Neon rising up inch by inch, slowly climbing up on that leaderboard. They are now in the top 3. A chicken dinner will crown all of their efforts. Can Ecstasy stand in their way? Sharing the zone, they're sharing the angles. Afro Esports, a chicken dinner now would be the best thing to happen to them. And they have to keep this on the low. They have to keep this on the launch. Big grenade again. Oh, what a grenade from Trader. And that guy gets knocked away, but Trader cannot finish. He cannot get the angle. Well, that was something special. Afro Esports and Unsullied Army on the opposite sides of that position. But Unsullied Army, take a look at them. They've got the south of the zone all to themselves. Dream Team will be getting eliminated. Only at 3 eliminations, only 3 points to the good. And Neon Rising will have themselves back somewhat of full strength. Without play, they need the play zone. They need to work something out. Unsullied Army have been blessed. They have made all the right choices. They have made all the right calls. A little bit of an angle here, getting forced out, but Afro Esports are fighting for everything they've got right now. Trader takes a hit from Foot, and Afro Esports will put Ecstasy on the back burner and take the 10 points away. And Final Boss now wants a piece of the action as well. Another one to hold through, but Neo says no. Puts Final Boss back into the Matrix. Swat has been knocked away. Grenade over to the right-hand side. We'll get the clutch. Oh, that's a beautiful grenade from that guy. He's bombing it all up. You would think you're going to war, but it's not. Everyone will feel it now. Neon Rising on the front foot. 9 eliminations. They're trying to close this out, and I talked about it in Vicendi. Neon Rising will rise every single time. They want to go for the final blow. Afro Esports shivering in their boots on the top floor. They know that this is the time to make something happen. Trying to blind him, trying to close this out, but it doesn't work. He's going to get noisy again. Beats into the left-hand side. TBS will swing right through. Not this time. 2 for 1. Gets the drop. And Afro Esports, not this time as well. Neo puts them all into the Matrix. The Final Boss will show why he is the final boss and puts the final blow into the dent of Afro Esports. And Neon Rising will rise again to fight no more. And Federal has starting some back-breaking activity. Neon Rising on the back end. Unsullied Army do not want to give away the power of the play zone that they've got so far. And that will be the end of Neon Rising. They come out of the waves, and Valkyrie will get the job done against them. PlayStation 4 immediately spotted by Federal. Another one will bite the dust. And now Too Sure Oz, not too sure. Surely he makes it through to the rock side, and he actually makes it way into the zone with a grenade perfectly launched. We'll get the job done. Oh, perfectly dropped off. And Federal with another nade. Federal cooking right now. 5 eliminations for Unsullied Army. His back, so many bruises from all the lifting, from all the carrying. Unsullied Army, chicken dinner looms in the distance. But Dark Knight, they are capable. And Trap has already started to set the trap. Gets the first one. The tries to get away into the zone. Trap again goes for the second. Federal gets knocked away. Trouble now for Unsullied Army. They're trying to get the angles in. And the Molotov cocktail trying to see you through. The smoke grenades into the corner as well. 48-64 playing the front man. Playing the front line. Can he stop Trap? Into the corner. Yes, he does. But immediately gets punished by HKK. When they have the numbers again. And that will be Unsullied Army. They will claim the chicken dinner in the final game. And they have done it with time to spare. Chicken dinner, Unsullied Army in a super weekend. Who would have thought? And what a way to wrap things up. What a way to get the job done. Unsullied Army. Chicken dinner, well deserved. Federal, what a player. Unsullied Army may have just cooked something special here with Federal. What a player he is. 5 eliminations and a 7 elimination chicken dinner. Well deserved for Unsullied Army. They did the job. They did every single thing perfectly. And it was well deserved. And the chicken dinner is one for the books. It is one for the books. What a performance from Unsullied Army. The play zone, everything came in clutch for them. They didn't want to, Unsullied Army is one of those teams that if they have the play zone, they don't really like to take the risks of having to send bodies forward deeper into the zone. They don't want to get caught out in the splits. And it worked out for them in this game. And you got to respect it. 4,300, 35 assists, 55 eliminations. You already know the play zone did take a lot of players in this game though, but it is one for the books. It works every single time, and it is something you've seen time and time again. Unsullied Army putting in that work and getting into that chicken dinner. Neon Rising with a final blow, with a final finish in the cut. 2,000 in damage points, 11 eliminations, 26 minutes on the clock. Neon Rising with a beautiful game to wrap things up inside of Vicendi. Vicendi is always going to give you something different. It's always going to give you something outside of the box, and you just have to love it. You just have to love it. It is imperative that you love it, baby. The MVP. I was thinking it was going to be Federal though because he had way more eliminations, but Baby did do more, significantly more damage. Again, Baby is a player that knows his role. He knows his positions. He knows exactly how to do it. The role he plays. Yeah, he's one of the best in the MPL in playing that free man position, that off angle position, that player that makes that run, for Neon Rising. So he has been very, very crucial to their performance. So what a game. What a game they have had. Incredible stuff. Beautiful from Baby for Neon Rising. I'm not sure how many eliminations they had, but Federal was there in second place. 5 eliminations and 500 plus damage points. Neil putting in work for Afro Esports, 4 eliminations as well. Skinny with 4 of his own. And Vanity, we saw him also turn up, managed to get 3 eliminations. And take a look at that, 17 points for Unsullied Army. And what a performance in the finals. In the final game of the night, Neon Rising with second place with 15 points. Afro Esports in third place with 11. Dark Knights with 10 in fourth place. Foul Play with 9 points in fifth place. 4 Potions with 8. And Ecstasy with 4. Dream Team with 4 as well. And Vanguard with 3, Luick with 3, 5 Warriors with 2, Angels of Death with 1, Arab Team, Vortex, Harsh Esports, and 3 Crown Esports. Unfortunately, no points on the board for them. So let's take a look at the MVPs. Amar finishes the day off with 3,000 in damage points with 14 eliminations. Crusader chasing nicely with 10 and 1600. Atarudo is also in there with 1600 of his own. And Lance from Tribe Warriors is in the mix with 9. Wizard is also in the mix with 9 for Neon Rising. We'll take a look at the leaderboard as it looks going into the last game of the Super Weekend of day 1. Ecstasy finished the day on top with 59 points. Dark Knights in second with 41. Neon Rising with 37 in third place. Tribe Warriors with 29. 4 Portions as well with 29. Unsullied Army with 28. Wow, Unsullied Army inside of the top 6. That is what a chicken dinner does, and you gotta love it. Unsullied Army 1 point behind Tribe Warriors. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? You know what I mean? Who would have thought? But RT with 28 points as well. Foul Play with 24. Afro Esports with 21. Luick with 14. And Harsh Esports with 13. And the rest of these other teams could not cross the double-digit mark. Again, playing 4 games and getting only single digits is absolutely diabolical and nefarious, but it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the action has come to an end tonight. The NPL is the Reign Speed Super Weekend, and what a party we have had. 2 blockbuster chicken dinners from Ecstasy, but the guys from Tribe Warriors managed to snatch one away, and Unsullied Army finished the night with a banger in Vikendi. Tomorrow, same time, we will have the last of the Super Weekend. The top 4 teams will advance to the Reign Split Finals, and that is the beginning of the journey for them again into the Grand Final. So stay locked in tomorrow night, same time, and we'll see who's going to make it to the Reign Split Finals. Until then, it's your boy Priest. Big shout out to Monster Energy and 1084 bringing you the MPL tonight, and production from only one and one and only Wiser Esports. See you guys tomorrow, same time. Stay locked in. We'll catch you guys. Have some fun. Don't do anything I wouldn't. So stay locked in. We'll see you guys tomorrow. MPL continues.